Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Troy with DDM's Realm, and I've got another video for you. This time we're heading to Barovia, and we're going to show you how to do the hunts. To do the hunts, you need a couple things. First, you need to go to the camp right over here, and this is where you're going to start the hunts. So make sure you go into Barovia. You'll want to be done with all the entry-level quests, so you're add all the repeatables to officially do the hunts this way. You will have a newbie hunt quest that you'll do, but it's fairly simple. I'm going to go into a lot more detail about what you need to do, what you can expect, and how you can take advantage of this stuff. If you haven't already, follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest, and become a patron. I really appreciate that support, and quite frankly, the more patrons I have, the more videos you guys are going to get. All right, so here's the camp that we're talking about here. We're going to actually enter this part right here to start a hunt, but first we have to figure out what we're going to do with our hunts. Unlike the previous modules, hunts work a little bit differently. Instead of getting trophy pieces to get lures, you're going to be getting these wanted posters, which they can drop all over the place, but mainly come from bosses or high-end mobs, so like the Arc Corrupt Druids, that kind of thing. So you're definitely going to want to be chasing those guys down and use them. There's a few things that you'll see with these wanted posters when you get them that will tell you which star you're going after. There's still 1-star, 2-star, or 3-star hunts. The first star is soloable. Most people still group this stuff, but it is soloable depending on your DPS. Might take you a while. Star 2s can be soloable if you have really high DPS and can make your way around the zone quickly. Tier 3 or 3-star stuff, you're just going to need a group. So take a group for Tier 2s and 3s for sure. You probably should take groups for Tier 1s, just because that kind of shares the wealth and lets everybody enjoy these things. So you also get wanted posters on those hunts as well, you can. Looking at these wanted posters, you'll see what your bounty is. On this one, we've got 50 Seals of the Brave, Omen, 5 Barovian coins, as well as a chance to get the Poisonous Haired Gloves, Barovian wanted poster, 2-star on this one, and the some refined stuff. So for a 1-star hunt, you can get 2-star wanted posters, and for 2-star hunts, you can get the 3-star ones. When you're running around a zone, normally, like the open public zone, you'll only get 1-star posters. We'll talk about that a little bit when we get inside, but when you get inside of a hunt, you still want to go after the bigger mobs in there, because the entire area will be populated with mobs, so you can hopefully pick up some extra posters and extra gear and stuff from here. So once you go through your wanted poster and you know which one you want to use, the next thing you need to do before you go in is check your cards and see if you want to use any of your Tarroka cards. So you can find those in your key tab, and there should be a Tarroka deck box, or you can actually come in here to your campaign, access it a different way, but the same thing. It says your Tarroka deck here. Here's your cards that you have and the cards that you can possibly play. So these high deck cards come from your weekly quests and from some of the bosses, maybe, I think. Could be wrong on that. I know you can basically farm these with all the weekly stuff. So do your weekly stuff for sure. You can get some cool rewards with these. Then all of the blue cards, sword stars, glyphs, and coins, can drop from mobs. You can get them in a couple other places, HEs, that kind of stuff. So for each suit, not the high cards, but each of these suits, like each of these swords, you'll have a random piece of armor for the sword stuff. You can look through here and see which piece of armor might drop. So they each have like a theme. So the stars here, you can go into the stars and look, and these are emeralds. So the higher you go in stars, the more emeralds you get. We can look at our glyphs here, and the glyphs are Barovian coins. So if you need to catch up on those, go ahead and do that. And then coins, which is, you get Astral Diamond, which is strange, because wouldn't you think that coins should drop the coins, but they don't anyway. As you look through here, most people try to get the entire deck, and you can do that by mailing cards back and forth. You can trade them that way. You can actually trade them. You can't put them on the auction house, can't trade them with each other, at least right now. Hopefully they change it, but you can actually mail them back and forth. So it's a good idea if you're looking for the entire deck to talk to your guildies or other friends and kind of trade your cards. And you can see here, well, what you have. You can look at this view details and see the Tarroka deck that you can get. This matches some of the gear that you can get in this campaign. So if you're saving up those cards, you probably don't want to use one of these cards during your hunt. So when you go into your hunt, she's going to read your fortune, say 3 cards where your wanted posted Corey is going to appear. But then you'll have a chance to play your own cards, add cards to the reading, And then this is when you start playing these cards if you want to do that. So whenever you play a card, we'll look at the seer here. 1 random armor piece, item level 490. So that's the reward we're going to get for this one. Oh, you can't even see that. Let me move this. All right, so we're going to look at the seer here. This one has a random art piece for 90, but there's also a couple things that are going to happen. The time to complete the hunt will be reduced by 5 minutes, and you and your allies are going to be healed for 25% of their health. That's probably a ticker once in a while. I haven't actually played a lot of these cards. I'm saving up for a deck, obviously, but I will show you how some of these cards work, and we'll throw a card or two out. One thing to keep in mind is most hunting groups don't use cards because people are still collecting their decks. Maybe in a few months we'll start using more cards because people already have their decks. And then one of the things you want to keep in mind is you can play up to 3 cards. But by doing that, you're going to possibly reduce your time and the challenge of something. So you should be fairly cognizant of what cards you're using. And you probably should just do tier 1 hunts with using cards. The reason for that is you're going to get the same rewards whether you're doing a tier 1 or a tier 3 hunt. So you might as well do an easy hunt, play lots of cards, get lots of rewards, rinse and repeat if you're trying to farm your cards. No reason to make a tier 3 harder because each of those zones will be progressively more difficult to go through. I hope that makes sense. So if you want to use cards, if you want to farm or need to farm this stuff, use your 1-star wanted posters. Do not use extra cards for tier 2 and tier 3 hunts to make sure you get those hunts completed, because if you fail the hunt, you lose the poster. Too bad for you. With those then being extended and easier, then you can actually take your time and fight some of the mini boss mobs in there to potentially get more gear and more cards or wanted posters. All right, so which one should we tackle first? I'm not going to use tarot card or any cards to start with. We'll just show you a hunt, and then I'll probably bounce back and forth in the video itself to kind of give you an idea of what a regular hunt looks like and a one with cards looks like, but without having to sit through 2 full hunts. So gather up your group. Once everybody's here, head on in.
Greetings. You have found Madame Eva's pavilion. Bring me a likeness of your quarry, and I will divine their path.
So the group leader is going to need to talk to Madame Eva and use the wanted poster that they want for this particular hunt, and then they're also going to be responsible for adding the cards.
Welcome, brave and hopeful hunter. What wild beast do you wish to hunt? Anything else? Let us see where this foul creature will appear. The beggar, dispossessed, shiver and shudder, prowling alley, alcove and gutter. The necromancer, skulking neath crumbled towers and walls, finds allies and servants in haunted halls. The thief, beware a hidden watching eye, whilst braving narrow crossing on high.
Alright, now we know where the mob's supposed to be. I'm not going to be adding Tarroka cards for this particular hunt, so let's head out and get the hunt started. Before you zone, make sure you buff up and everybody is ready, because once you enter the hunt, then timer will start.
Beggar, dispossessed, shiver and shudder, prowling alley, alcove and gutter.
All right, at the beginning of each of these, she'll go through it again to remind you where to go. If I pick up on it through the keywords, some people pick up on it through the whichever cards is drawn. That'll tell you where you need to go. Here's a quick little map. If you're going to Threshold, that's Castle Ravenloft. The Druid Stones is over on the left. The Thief's up high. The Mist is in the cave. The Beggar's in the town, necromancers down the tower, shepherds up in the crops there. There looks like there's a few more, but I haven't actually got those yet. So that's where you need to go. You'll pick them up pretty easy. It's pretty easy to learn and remember where things are. So this is a Star 1 hunt. We're just going to hunt down our boss here and keep our eyes out for any of the kind of mini boss mobs. See if we can milk a few more posters, cards, and loot off of them. So this particular boss is just like a super powered Twig Blight. We also pulled in a Death Knight in here. Try to get some extra loot off of this one. But pretty straightforward, no real new attacks on this guy. It gives you an idea of what's going to happen. So as we beat him down and kill the extra stuff, you'll see that about third down, he's going to run away, spawn a few of his little friends, and we'll have to chase him around Barovia. So here's his little friends that we're going to take out. Then we can hop on our mounts and go after it again.
The necromancer, skulking neath crumbled towers and walls, finds allies and servants in haunted halls.
So the necromancer is going to be down to the south, and we'll head over there to that dead village as soon as we're done clearing things out. Alright, well here we have him at his second spawn point, so we'll fight him here in the middle. You can pretty much be sure that you're going to run into a skeletal knight here. You got a good DPS group, sometimes it's fun to kind of run around and kind of pull half the village. A lot of times you can get extra loot that way. Well, let's beat him down another third and see where he goes from here. Once again, he's fleeing, leaving some of his friends behind.
The thief. Beware a hidden watching eye, what's braving narrow crossing on high.
Then go ahead and clean up whatever loot's left behind and move on to the third and final time you'll fight this boss. Since we still have lots of time before we are done, on our way to the final fight, we're going to pick off as many things as we can, because we want to get those extra cards and extra loot. When you kill the boss for the last time, all the mobs in the zone disappear, so you cannot farm them anymore. So it's a good idea, if you have the time and your group wants to farm this stuff, is to clean up as much as you can on your way to the final fight with the hunt target. But I'll skip that over so you can see us fight this final battle. Alright, well there you have it. Once that final time you fight your hunt target dies, you will get your rewards for that hunt there. You want to look around on the ground and check to see if there's anything, because you definitely don't want to miss it. And a timer will actually start. You get about 2 minutes in the zone before you kick out. Check to see if you got any of the wanted posters or what other gear you have. If you played some cards, you should have the little boxes for the rewards in your inventory as well. Alright, so let's show you some cards. Okay, skipping right to using cards, you're going to click on the right side there. Click on the left card, and then you can pull up your Tarroka deck and cycle through what you want to use. So I'm going to use this card right here. Give us a little bit of extra loot at the end. And you can see what buffs are going to happen and what's going to happen to the enemies. And I'll actually throw a second one in here so you can see how this is going to work. And we're just going to go down here and add a little extra refined stone to the final thing. This will increase their aggro range. These two things will kind of compound. Sometimes you can actually use multiple cards to balance each other. So if something does more damage, you can give yourself regeneration as well. So for this particular one, we're going to do just a tier 1 hunt, but I'll skip through it and show you kind of what happens at the end, since you've already seen what a hunt looks like. I'll remind you, if you happen to pull other mobs on here, do not kill the hunt target until you've killed the mobs you're trying to farm. Otherwise, you will lose out on their potential extra cards, loot, and wanted posters. Once everything's dead, go ahead and collect up all your loot. See, a bunch of the stuff went into your inventory, and boxes from your cards actually went in there. So open up your inventory, and you can see some of the extra boxes that you'll get as loot from killing the hunt target. And those are your rewards that you got from the actual using of the cards, along with any other loot that might drop, and other refinement points, wanted posters, and everything else. So it's a good way to get extra stuff, but definitely just use those on tier 1 hunts because it makes it a lot easier than having to fight through much more difficult tier things. Tier 2 and tier 3 hunts just get harder, but otherwise they function pretty much the same. Good luck on your loot, good luck on your drops, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest, and become a patron if you want to see more of these videos. Well, until next time, play smarter, not harder.